I'm Pete Rubish. We're at Marazzo's Market here in Trenton, New Jersey. I'm gonna try to get a week's worth of food for $50. Let's see if we can do it. Okay guys, so I'm gonna probably get the meat first. I'm looking at chicken here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm basically gonna make like my own homemade Chipotle bowl. Because that's gonna cover all sorts of different food groups, and we'll get our carbs that way, our protein, put some lettuce in for vegetables. And then once that's taken care of, we'll see what's left as far as the budget, and probably throw some eggs and stuff like that. So let's get this going. I'm gonna get some boneless, skinless chicken breast because $2 a pound, you're really not gonna beat that. We've got over 4 pounds here. This could probably get us through about half the week. I'll get a couple of these. So I think that puts us at like around $16. I've got 8 pounds here. I'm trying to think. Do close to a pound a day, maybe a little more. I'm gonna go get some eggs. All right guys, so normally I'd get like cage-free organic eggs, but obviously those are pretty expensive compared to what I can get over here. This is the store brand eggs. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with shopping store brand. It's usually pretty much the same. You save a lot of money, adds up in the long run. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get 36 eggs. That comes out to about 5 eggs a day that we can work with. And then I think that gets us up to, we're at about $21 right now. So I think now I'm gonna get some rice for this. I'm gonna look for some jasmine rice. Yeah. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go with the 5-pound bag of long grain white rice. And this is gonna take a little longer to cook, but obviously it saves a ton of money. This should get me through a week. Eat that with the chicken. And I'm gonna kind of get the stuff that I'm gonna make with the chicken now, the salsa, things like that. Thinking outside the box a little bit. So normally guys, with the salsa, I'd go with something like this. To make it even more interesting, I get like lime salsa. But this is $2.89. And then if we get the store brand here, it's only $2.29, so it saves a little bit. And you may not think of like 60 cents as being much, but at the end of the day, that's gonna play a big role when we're trying to only spend $50. So I'm gonna go with this. This should last about a week. Can add that to my chicken and my rice. Just mix it all together. So now I think I'm gonna get some black beans. See if how much of that I can get. All right guys, so we have a sale price here, 99 cents for a can of beans. Normally they are $1.38 it looks like. Or $1.20, $1.29, different brands, whatever. So that saves quite a bit of money. I'm gonna get 3 cans of this, comes out to about 3 pounds. So about a pound each, and that should get me through the week as far as beans here. So shop your sales. I'm trying to think now. Let's do lettuce, get some more veggies. Salsa's a little bit, but I feel like we should get a little more than that even. All right, so honestly, I think it's worth spending a little extra money to get the romaine over the iceberg lettuce. But I have to find out what this weighs. The iceberg lettuce is $1, and the romaine lettuce is $1.50.
Go for the romaine, it's more nutritious.
Well, that's what I was thinking. So we're gonna weigh this out here. I think a pound for a week would do, but it's a little under a pound. So I think that'll do for a week. I'm gonna bag it, and then we'll be good to go with this. I'm gonna get Greek yogurt instead of sour cream to get more protein in. And I think it'll be cheaper actually. Or it'll be about the same at least with the extra protein. So this is 88 grams of protein in the whole thing. This is a ton of Greek yogurt, but we could almost eat it as a separate like snack or something for what I don't use for the bowl. And I'm just gonna use this to replace the sour cream. Get the extra protein, because sour cream basically is no protein. This is 88 in the whole thing. $4 on sale. Save a little bit, and you get way more than something like this. This would actually be a good amount, but I get way more for this So I'm probably gonna go with this. Put that in. Okay guys, so I have about $13 to play with here. I'm gonna go look at the meat again. I may go with beef, may go with another thing of chicken, but we're gonna kind of see where we're at after that. Might get some berries to kind of end things. Get that last little bit. So I'm gonna get one more of these. This is $6.50. This is gonna leave us with about $6. So we'll go get some berries. Chicken was a better price than the beef. Chicken was $1.99 a pound, beef was $2.99, and then at the same time, chicken is less fat. If I want to stay a little leaner for like a meat, have a meat coming up and I want to make 242, that's probably gonna help out. So I'm gonna go with chicken for my meat sources straight through for the whole week. All right guys, so I checked the canned and the frozen fruits. The canned fruits we could potentially go with. You get like a pound of peaches. I think it's like $2.50 or $2.70 for a pound. So I'm not crossing that out, but we also have like pears here. This is a special. This is $1.15 for all these pears. So normally I wouldn't go with pears. It's not my favorite fruit, but that'll work. This should last us a week easily for our yogurt as a separate meal, a snack or whatever. So I'm gonna go with this. This is only $1.15 for all this fruit. All right guys, so I was looking at all the cheeses and the shredded cheese is on sale. It's $5 the unit price per pound, whereas the block cheese, the cheapest one, is $5.58. So we can have some fun here. I get to pick out any one of these shredded cheeses to put in our bowl. Now I think I'm gonna go with 4-state cheddar. This will be enough for the week. I'm gonna use it sparingly to spread it out, but I think that comes out to $2.50 for one of these. All right guys, so I have about $3 left and we have an ad special here, $1 for one of these juices. This is where it gets fun. It's which juice do you choose? Now, the one that jumps out at me, I want to go with the Peach Orchard Punch. Looks like peaches and apples and pears. So that's the one I'm gonna pick, and then we'll still have $2 left. Find something else. Okay guys, so I have $2.50 left about. This is $2.39 on sale. I can just get this, so I won't be able to have like a whole bagel every day. This is only 5, but I feel like this will be a pretty good addition to our diet here. So I went with cinnamon raisin just to make it a little more exciting. And that should do it here. It's our $50. We got our $50. It's time to check out, see if we added everything up right, see if this works. Not quite enough to get another juice. Okay guys, so we made it work. I think there was like a little mistake at the end, so we actually had about $2 more to work with. Probably could have gotten another thing of bagels, but we got three things of chicken. Came out to like 11.5 pounds, 5 pounds of rice, and I have a bunch of stuff to add to that. That's basically going to be the base meal that I use throughout the day, and then I can eat Greek yogurt with some berries, have some bagels, eggs, things like that for breakfast. So I feel like we did a pretty good job with everything. Let's go cook it. Okay guys, so I've got all my food laid out here for what we're gonna make throughout the day. I'm gonna split it up into 5 meals. I'm going to do basically 3 meals that are like the burrito bowl we were talking about with the chicken, the rice. I'm using the Greek yogurt instead of sour cream for more protein. the salsa, the black beans, the lettuce, and the cheese. That's basically all going to be combined into like a burrito bowl type meal. We'll eat that 3 times. For breakfast, we're going to do 5 eggs. I'm going to scramble them up, and then we're going to do a bagel with that. Obviously, we only have 5 bagels, so on 2 of the days, it'll just have to be a half of a bagel. And then I'm going to throw in a scoop of protein with that as well, just to get a little more protein. The final meal of the day, we're going to do some Greek yogurt, and we're going to do that with the pears. And then we're also going to throw in another scoop of protein. That'll be like the pre-bed meal. So I'm going to start cooking all this up here. Okay guys, so I'm going to boil the chicken up. That's how I prepare it. It's very simple. You just take the chicken breasts basically, lay them in your pot, and then I'm going to fill it up with water. And you just can let it sit and basically cook up by itself. The key to that is, or the cool thing about it, really takes no work. You don't have to worry about anything burning. It's just simple, straightforward. It works. Turns out pretty good. So it's not dry either. That's another big plus. Just filling this pot up. You want to get the heat pretty high too, so it actually is like literally boiling, or else it's going to take forever. A little more water. And then I'll just put this on the burner here. Let's see which one we got here. We'll turn it up. Turn it on high. Let that sit. All right, so with the beans, I'm just going to do a half cup a day because we essentially have, I think, 9 servings total at a half cup. So you could do a little more than a half cup, but I'm going to go with that. Like I said, it seems like a little bit for each thing, like a little bit of rice and a little bit of beans. But when you combine it all together with the chicken, with the salsa and all the other things, it amounts to a lot of food. And you can kind of play with these portions. I don't have like an exact portions. I kind of ballpark it. I don't really like measure specific amounts. I'm not trying to diet down for anything. So there's a little more leeway there, but I'm obviously trying to not overshoot the budget here with the amount of food I'm eating. So I don't want to like accidentally eat a cup for one day and then the last day I have nothing. All right guys, so I'm just like tearing up the lettuce into smaller pieces here. I use 2 leaves. It's about what we'd use per day, given the amount that we have. And looks like that. It's a pretty good amount of lettuce. I can spread that out over 3 meals. So that's ready to go. I got the beans ready to go. I'm gonna pour the rice in here. The water's boiling. So with the pears, I'm basically gonna cut up all the pears and then I'm gonna kind of eyeball it. Sometimes it's just easier. I know if somebody's doing bodybuilding and they have to be specific in their macros and everything, it's a little bit of a different story, but I'm just gonna be a little more not so strict with that. I'm just gonna cut it up and take a look and try to divvy it up. All right, so I'm gonna get the half cup of yogurt. I'm using a liquid measuring cup, so this is a little tough, but we're gonna try to come close. So I'm just putting everything into one big bowl here. Usually I'll take like a Tupperware thing, mix all my stuff into that, and I'll eat it throughout the day. So rather than like portion out my food, I just try to eat that basically throughout the day, and that's what I'm gonna do here. And then at the end, I will split it up into 3 different meals. But as far as like the Greek yogurt that we're using in place of the sour cream, I'm just gonna eyeball a little bit. I'm not gonna put much in because we need this at the end of the night, whether we make a shake with it or we just eat it straight. So I'm just gonna put like 2 little dabs of it there, and I'll save this for the last meal, the rest of it. I add the rice to it. It's stuck to the pan a little bit. This is why a rice cooker is probably a good idea, but I do not have one of those right now. So there's still some rice kind of stuck to the pan. That's why if you cook your rice on a stove, you can't walk away from it. Let's try to get all this in here. Just throwing it on the floor. Not good for the budget, throwing food on the floor. All right, guys, so as far as the cheese, I'm just gonna eyeball this too. I feel like that would be about what we'd be allotted each day to make this last for 7 days. So you can it's a little easier than measuring out an ounce. Save a little time. Then we'll get to put the salsa in. Salsa, we got 2 tablespoons, 14, 4 tablespoons roughly. We can kind of use our spoon. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Roughly 4 tablespoons. And now the chicken's really gonna build the volume up, but I gotta wait for that to cook. That's gonna take the longest because it's a big pan. That's what we have the most to work with. Got 11.5 pounds of chicken, so that's really the bulk of the meal, coupled with all this. So if you don't like have enough food at the end, if you don't think it's enough, basically your rice is your wild card. You can play around with the amount. I am gonna add another half cup to it of uncooked rice. And honestly, you could probably bump that up to another full cup and you'd still have enough. Like this bag, I mean, you can eat a lot of rice. So if you feel like it's not enough food, just keep increasing the rice and the carbohydrates there. And that'll definitely put some calories in, put some weight on you. All right, guys, I'm gonna add the second bit of rice here. This is the next half cup just to get some more volume in this meal. And again, it's stuck to the pan a little bit because I walked away. So don't walk away. But you can already see that adds a lot more food. And I still think you could add another half cup to a full cup in here if you still weren't full. So for the end of the night meal, what I've got the Greek yogurt here, and I threw all the pear on top. And if I had a blender, what I would do is I'd put that all in the blender, and then I'd take a scoop or two of the whey, the animal whey, add water until it was the consistency that I wanted, and I would blend that all up. So essentially that would be the last meal, but I do not have a blender. All right, guys, so I can't mash the pears up real well here with a spoon. It's not working so well. I mean, this would be like, if I blended it and made it thicker, this is about what it would look like, obviously with the pears more ground up, but this is actually strawberry whey too, I was told, so the color is not the most appealing, but we're gonna try it out. I'm gonna get some pear in there. It's good. Tastes like strawberry Greek yogurt. And then the pear, obviously, it's not like ground down, so that kind of has its own aftertaste. But if this was all mixed together, it'd be like a cross between a strawberry protein shake and strawberry Greek yogurt. All right, guys, so I've got it all in this big bowl. This weighs a couple pounds at least. And then I'm just gonna divvy it up into 3 bowls, 3 meals. Basically got 3 different meals here now. So those are the 3 meals we probably eat in the middle of the day. So I'm gonna make 5 eggs for breakfast. I'm just gonna make them scrambled. It'll be pretty easy. All right, so the eggs are all scrambled, all made here. Just gonna get them on the plate. This is 5 whole eggs. Looks pretty good. So something I often hear is that, you know, people can't afford to eat the right foods or eat enough, but clearly this shows that you can eat enough. And some of these things I had to kind of change on the fly. Like, I don't have a blender with me. I was gonna originally make yogurt type shake with the whey and the yogurt and the pears and mix that all together, but I didn't have that, so I ended up turning it into a yogurt. And you just have to kind of improvise sometimes. This doesn't look a whole lot or very far off from what you would get at like Chipotle. If you laid that out in a burrito bowl, I bet a lot of people wouldn't be able to like distinguish this from the actual Chipotle meal. So that's kind of cool, and you can make it interesting. It doesn't mean you have to eat boring. Let's say you have another even $10 or even $5. I mean, I could have added in guacamole. I could have made this even more interesting, more cheese or whatever you can think of, seasonings, things like that. So it doesn't have to be boring either. So I was the first power lifter to try the big on a budget, and when the idea was pitched to me a few days ago, I was a little skeptical about it. I wasn't sure how it would go for me, because this really isn't my comfort zone. Like, as being a power lifter, I'm not putting as much thought into my diet and everything that a bodybuilder would. I'm not, measuring my foods or counting my macros and things like that. But it turned out really well. I'm pleased with everything that I got, and I think it opened my eyes. I think it'll open a lot of your eyes to what you can get and how you can be creative, and you don't have to be super strict. You can have a little fun. You can add the juice in or whatever with that money left over at the end. I'm Pete Rubish, and this is my take on Big on a Budget. Thank you guys for watching. Give it a shot. I think you'll like it.